Ready to go.
Welcome everybody to the January 16, 2021 Division 8 meeting. We have a guest presentation after the business meeting, and Russ will tell us all about that in a few minutes. We are not going to do a back to basics session today because I think we have enough other things on the agenda that would just run it a little bit further than we want to in this particular meeting. During the meeting, as always, audio is disabled. You can always unmute yourself. We don't lock you out from that, but to make a motion, to second a motion, you can come off mute, and we ask you to come off mute and just say your name and that you make a motion, say your name that you are seconding the motion that was just made. And then we will vote in with polling. We were going to use something else, but earlier today, Barbara and I were testing it out and verified that Zoom has made an update to the application, and we are unable to use that feature. So thank you, whatever software engineers made that wonderful change, but we'll just work with it and it'll be fine. If you have any questions during the meeting, of course, ask in chat if possible. Ron is monitoring that, and if it needs to come to the attention of the whole group, we'll do that. We're going to take a 5-minute break as usual between the end of the business meeting and the presentation. That will give us a little bit of time to stop my screen share, get our presenter's screen share up and rolling, make sure everything's going there, and also give everybody a chance to do a bio break. And of course, the meeting will be recorded, and we'll post the business meeting, and then we'll post the session presentation separately as 2 different YouTube sessions in a few days. Minutes from the last meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as they were posted to the Division 8 website?
Mike, so moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
And you all know how to do this. It should be in the middle of your screen. Just vote yes, vote no. And of course, if you are a host or co-host, you cannot vote. That's just the way this polling thing works. But well, we have an overwhelming majority already. So I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. Mr. Berry, you are up with the Treasurer's report, sir.
Thank you, Fred. Treasurer's report today is for 2 months. Of course, we had no official meeting during December. So this, not very long, but it does technically cover 2 months. On the expense side for these past 2 months, any questions?
I don't hear any questions. I'm assuming there are none in chat. So do I have a motion to approve the Treasurer's report as Mike Berry has presented it to us?
So moved.
And Mike, thanks for taking care of the money bucket. Rick, it's all yours, sir.
It's been a rather hectic month. December wasn't so bad, but we've really gotten a spike in January. I guess if we start, I'll just do them in the order that they're listed here. If anybody else knows of anybody, whether they've been in the hospital or not, they can certainly get a card. Let me know, and we'll try to keep all these people so they know that they're being looked after. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. So Joe Fields is not with us today. He said, as of right now, there is nothing in the hopper waiting to be judged. But looking forward, we've talked, and graciously, Mark Norman has agreed to, on a temporary basis only, take over coordination of judges and any paperwork submission that might come up in the interim until Joe returns to full capacity. And I want to make sure everybody understands this is temporary. Joe is not being replaced at all. If you have something that needs to be judged, if you have questions about the program, don't hesitate to ping Mark Norman. If you don't have Mark Norman's email address, you know what? You can reach him through Groups.io. You can reach him through any board member as well. So there are multiple ways to reach him in. We'll put a small statement in the February pie card about that as well. Mark Norman for right now for anything achievement program until Joe is back up to speed. Barry, you're up, sir. Lots to report on today.
Barry unfortunately lost his internet connection. He was trying to dial in, but I haven't seen anything from him. So go ahead, Fred. She's all yours. Wait a minute. I think Barry has just come online. I think. Hang on. Just bear with me just a second, because Barry can do a much better job at this than I am. Barry has a nice personality, and you all know, that doesn't work for me.
Yes, did I unmute myself okay?
Yeah, you just in, right at the right exact second, and you have the floor, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah, well, thank you, Ron, and thank you, Fred. And I do apologize for my really bad internet connection that went out like 2 minutes after the meeting started. So anyways, as you all know, it's Freight Cars Month for January. It's a popular topic for the Charlie Keeling Virtual Model Contest, and we did have 6 entrants. So I would like to congratulate Bob Frankrone today for coming in 3rd place. And his freight car model was a Southern Railway gondola with a large load of gears. And then I'd also like to extend congratulations to Russ Weiss, who came in 2nd place. And his freight car was a hopper car from AHM Rivarossi. And then 1st place, congratulations go to Rick Geertz. His entry was intermodal freight cars. So congratulations to Rick for winning 1st place for this month. We'd also like to share honorable mention for Ron Ellison with his grain car, and Stan White with his first responder paint scheme box car, and Steve Lasher with his box car that was developed from an AccuRail kit. So we're continuing on now into February, and we have changed the name of the February contest to be a little more inclusive. It's now called Non-Steam Motive Power, so that many of our contestants who like to enter in power other than diesel electric locomotives, we're inclusive for all of those that are not in the steam category for February. And as you all know, we have transferred over to our Google Forms for voting. So everyone will be receiving a Gmail for Division 8 with the Google Form link to vote with, and that includes all the photos and all of the descriptions of each one of the entries. And then we will have an acknowledgement email that normally is sent out within 24 hours after you vote. So thank you very much, everybody. And if there's any other technical things that needed to be shared by Fred or Ron, feel free to jump in at this point.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you so much for doing that. The one thing I am going to add or reinforce is that upon submission, you should, of an entry for the contest, you should receive an email back from Division 8 MCR NMRA at gmail.com. If you don't get that submission within about 24 hours, try it again or reach out directly to Ron Ellison, because he is managing that mailbox on behalf of the division. Okay, that's your guarantee that it's in the contest at that point. Ron, did you want to add anything else?
Well, just that we had one entry this month that didn't make it into the contest because the person didn't realize his entry wasn't received until the ballot came out. So make sure if you enter the contest that you get an acknowledgement email. The email will state that we have it and that your entry number or whatever your number is.
And Stan White, I do have a request of you. Can you send another photo of that first responders boxcar to me? The one that came through that is a profile across the card is kind of, there's something, it's very grainy. And the one that I use on Facebook to announce the winners and so forth of the contest, I'd really like to have one that shows that whole profile side of it, if possible. So if you could send that to me today, baby, that'd be great.
I'll be glad to. Yeah, Fred.
Thank you, Stan. So Russ is going to tell us what's happening today and in the future for a few times.
Okay, thanks, Fred. We're pleased to have Steve Zabatowski from Division 1 with us today, and he'll be speaking on, do you really need to fill out this form? And I'll do more introduction on Steve after the break. The next gathering will be on the 13th of February, and we're going to have Steve Lasher giving part 3 of his talk on everything you want to know about signals. And this part, I think if we have it right, he'll tie everything together because in the future, the part 4 will be how everything that he's told us on the real railroad that we can put for towards our model railroad. So that should be a good segue for the model railroads next time. Yours truly will give all the structures that are in the Buffalo engine facility, and I hope you'll like that. And Fred will be giving kind of a quickie, and we'll just have a surprise on what it will be. At our next general membership meeting in February, we'll have Sam Swanson from Division 7 giving one of his clinics on finished modeling. So that should be very interesting. We'll look forward to hearing from Sam next month. And if you did not tune in to last month's bull session, it was well received and everybody had a good time, and there was a lot of good stuff. That was a lot of good railroad stuff, and Mark did a good job of sticking with railroad stuff. So it was so popular that we're going to do it again on March 13th. So if you'd like to just, you haven't had enough time at shows or meeting to kind of just shoot the bull with guys, this is a great opportunity. And if you'd like to join in on any of these virtual model events, there they are. And I know that, you know, this will be available, I think, on the YouTube, that if you haven't caught this slide, that you can look all these things up and of course Google it. If you have never been to Amherst, Jim Petro and I went there about 20 plus years ago. That is the show of all shows. Think about the National Model Railroad Association you know, convention show, plus the narrow gauge convention show all at once. Yeah, the only drawback of going there is Amherst is in Springfield, Massachusetts. And unless in January you want to ski, snowshoe, or snowmobile, it's not a fun place to be. But I was told that because of that, come the nice weather, nobody wants in Massachusetts to go to a show. But I don't know exactly how they're going to do it virtually. But what makes it so big is not only do you have you know, the big guys there, but tons and tons of small vendors. That's where I've found vendors for parts and backdrop paintings and some, at the time, laser cut buildings and so on. So do check that out. I think that's all for me, Fred.
Our next train show and sale, of course, is not until the fall. We're hoping by November that we're able to do that. I think the last thing here is just remember staying connected. The best way to do it, Groups.io, post a question there and get involved in the discussion that's going on. There's just enough chatter to make it interesting, but not so much that you want to put it on mute all the time. Facebook page, of course, has things going on all the time, and the single source of information is the website. If you want to know what's coming up, check the website, go into the timetable if you have any questions about the date. And that brings us to the end of the business meeting. And we'll go ahead and adjourn at this point and give us just a couple minutes for me to shut down my share to get Steve Zapatowski up and rolling. And in 5 minutes, we will start back up. And once Steve and I get everything rolling here, we'll open the floor up to chit chat for the last few minutes before we come back, and then I'll get Russ to start us at 2:33.